Hey everyone, welcome back to Mama Vic channel. Now, today I want to straight away jump into it. I want to talk about a couple of things. I want to look at the price trend, the general price trend of cryptocurrencies, what's happening with crypto. I want to briefly talk about the change of heart of the senator in the US that had stopped the amendment of the Treasury bill right in its tracks. I think there was so much looming pressure. He had a change of heart by going through the Twitter platform. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But then we talk about some adoption of Bitcoin somewhere. And then we talk about why you need to be careful in the cryptocurrencies you invest in. First of all, Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space is a highly competitive space. Anytime you try to do something in the crypto space, be it talk about it, be it building something, developing something, being some sort of spokesperson, I don't know, whatever, working for a company with crypto, regards blockchain technology and distributed ledger technologies, it's very competitive. Especially you can see that with DeFi, you can see that with NFTs, you can see that with layer 2 scaling solutions on Ethereum. There's optimistic rollups here, there's Arbitrum there, there's ZK Snarks over there, and then you look at so many other, Bitcoin itself, the Lightning Network, they're trying to really capitalize on that one thing and trying to improve it. Ethereum itself trying to scale as it's trying to do that. There's so many other chains. So as Ethereum is trying to improve, you have other chains trying to eat its cake or take over its market share, increase total value in DeFi platforms that are running on other chains. So it's a very highly competitive space. The reason why I'm saying this is that, first of all, Bitcoin has been here for a very long time. And there's many cryptocurrencies that have come up to contend Bitcoin. So cryptocurrencies, it's a highly competitive space. But what I've seen is that some of the most innovative products are the ones that make it. We started with Bitcoin. Bitcoin introduced a whole new way of doing things. And that's why it's trying to establish itself, or kind of slowly establishing itself as a store of value, because it's the most neutral asset. It's the most decentralized asset in terms of how much power is distributed across the world. Different miners, you don't really know who these miners are, where they are. Same thing applies to Ethereum, but Ethereum is a different monster on its own. There's way too much attention going to Ethereum, trying to scale it, trying to improve it. And Bitcoin has its own community, its own following, its own network effect. Essentially, if we look at Metcalfe's law, this law stated that the value of a network is directly proportional to the number of users on that network. So you've got major networks having major network effects, especially the top ones. Bitcoin with its kind of network effect, with the kind of innovation that it brought, and Ethereum with the kind of innovation that it brought. So given how competitive this space is, try to look out for projects that have a massive competitive advantage. I can give you one example. Of course, there's our good Fetch.AI, but first I'll give you one example, and that's the Uniswap. Uniswap really innovated the space of DeFi by introducing the usability of this idea of having pools. So you have a pool, you have a pair of, it's a simple concept. So Uniswap is governed by simple formula. You have token A in a pool, you have token B in a pool. If you're a user out there and you want token A, you come deposit token B, more of token B, and then you get an equivalent amount of token A. As simple as that. That completely changed the whole DeFi space as we know it. So guys, let's look at Bitcoin here. I'm going to explain why I went into the whole competitive thing. Bitcoin has moved the market. Bitcoin has been one of the first movers. There's been a lot of, uncertainty around the network, what's happening with companies. And then sort of the whole clean energy mining thing started improving when you look at Michael Saylor and his, the mining, overloads or whatever. They're not mining overloads, but they sort of want to oversee what's happening in the mining industry as regards clean energy and renewable energy usage within as far as Bitcoin mining is concerned. So that kind of started getting clearer as we start to see some statistics that it's going about 50% in terms of clean energy reusability relative to the dirty energy. And we can also see that the exodus of miners, I'm so confused about the exodus of miners and the Chinese clamp down on Bitcoin, because it's confusing, because Bitcoin is such a valuable network. It has massive network effect. It's a new asset class. China maybe just doesn't care? There's something we are not really getting here. Anyway, so when China started the crypto ban, it caused an exodus of the miners away from China. But also before that, China was really trying to clamp down on dirty energy usage within China. But because of that law that was stated within China, that was sort of decreed within China, that crypto miners are supposed to leave or they're supposed to stop, it kind of reduced the carbon footprint of Bitcoin, or rather the usage of dirty energy when it comes to mining Bitcoin. So let's move on. Ethereum's EIP 1559, of course, really shook up the market as far as, Ethereum is going to be deflationary. So the 1559 proposal, what it enacted, there were other proposals as well, but that one was the main one. Basically, it was simple. Burn the base fee, reduce the amount of fees that users have to pay on the network, or rather, make the user interface a bit more clearer so that a user knows beforehand how much fees they're going to pay, so that they do not exceed it. So more transparency on the technical side of what the fee structure is on the Ethereum networks, but it doesn't necessarily reduce the fees. And because those base fees, because of the enactment of that proposal, it also leads to more Ethereum getting burned per minute. And there's different websites you can go to see how much Ethereum has been burned. A tremendous amount has been burned already, and eventually that curve will meet the other curve. The assumption is that Ethereum becomes a deflationary currency, increased supply, that leads to an increased amount of course, value within the Ethereum token itself. So now there's many other cryptocurrencies. There's so much news around others, but if we look at a currency like Fetch, if we look at an ecosystem like Fetch, which is this basically cryptocurrency ecosystem, blockchain technology that leverages the consensus algorithms of like Tendermint. So from the Cosmos side of things, these guys that are building autonomous economic agents and trying to leverage multi-agent systems, as well as machine learning and artificial intelligence. So essentially, these guys have a unique use case. Rather, not a unique use case, but they have a unique solution to problems. Now, these solutions have been proposed before, like using multi-agent based systems, but there was no technology like blockchain technology. Now, and we're aware that being able to really realistically leverage multi-agent systems and the technology that these guys are creating, which is known as it's an agent-based system, but it's known as autonomous economic agents, to provide all kinds of value, essentially creating digital assistants for individuals, companies, machines, allowing true interoperability, true communication, true realization of the Internet of Things and the economy of things. So I think, going back to the point of having a massive competitive advantage, given how crazily, if that's even a word, competitive this whole market is, I really try to look out for projects that I think have a chance of making it as far as having a competitive advantage is concerned. Very low replicability potential for this project. If you're a project out there, you want to copy what these guys are doing, it's going to be extremely hard. Now, going back to the Senate, Shelby. So I talked about in the video yesterday, there was this treasury infrastructure bill that was proposed in the United States. The United States wants to tax a couple of sectors and spheres to collect massive, through that taxation, collect a lot of money to use for building roads and other infrastructure developments within the United States. So this bill basically stated that it also included cryptocurrencies, and it stated that brokers in the cryptocurrency space will also basically be included within this bill. They'll have to be among the people that are taxed. So the grievances were, who are brokers exactly? Are they the software developers? Are they miners? Are they developers on the networks of these various networks? Are they people that cannot track down, that cannot really function as a financial instrument to know every single detail of every individual that uses their technology? So of course that faced a lot of backlash. So a couple of senators came up and they set up an amendment. They're like, hey guys, before we pass this bill, let us exclude cryptocurrencies. Let us look at them first, understand what this is, then understand how to deal with this new technology. Let us not chase innovation away from the United States. So Richard Shelby, they needed 100% vote on this bill. And then Richard Shelby was the only senator that stood up and opposed the bill. So that caused a lot of headwinds within the cryptocurrency space. So a few days later in the future, we see this tweet from Richard Shelby saying, by the way, he did that under the guise of he didn't agree with the fact that there was not enough funding for the military, whatever. For the military in the US. So with this tweet from him, I supported Senator Toomey, was one of the senators that passed the amendment. Cryptocurrency amendment, I know of its importance to innovation and job creation, but I believe it pales in comparison to the security of our nation, which is why I called for a vote on my defense infrastructure amendment. It's unfortunate that Democrats blocked both amendments. So you can see the language, it's very partisan type of thing. Republicans the other side, Democrats on the other side, but also, you know, there's this narrative that we don't understand, because I mean, if you're truly concerned about the security of your nation, then technology is one of those things to really watch out for. Not just military, physical technology, financial technology. We all know money makes the world move round. So the country that manages to freely capture cryptocurrency, the most value from digital currencies, though their purpose is to really make this world global, is going to have a ton of money. Of course, not to mention other things like artificial intelligence and machine learning. Countries or organizations that really capture that market are going to do really well. So I think Mr. Senator Richard Shelby should really go back and revise the true definition of security and what it means. In other words, we need some more forward thinking out there to better understand what is going on here and the significance. So this is just another article talking about how the more Bitcoin is thrown into a negative light, it's the more the more it gets a brighter light shined upon it, because it's just one of those things where people start to question, hey, there's no such thing as bad publicity. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Richard Shelby his name is more known in the whole community right now. I mean, generally, I'm sure he's got more Twitter followers. Guys, I'm just kidding. Obviously, respect. I'm not even American. I hope they sort out what is going on. So yeah, Bitcoin, shun something in the dark. If people are curious about it, they're gonna check what's in that Pandora's box to try and really see what's going on. Some interesting news here. Obviously, more adoption for Bitcoin. Cinema operator AMC plans to accept Bitcoin by 2022. We shall just leave that one at that. It's pretty interesting. One last thing I wanted to talk about is that we cannot underestimate why Bitcoin has value. And one of those reasons, guys, I'm not being a Bitcoin maximalist. How can I even be? I love altcoins. I love what's being developed in the altcoin space. The reason why I'm saying that, and some of this, the only way other altcoins, including Ethereum, can fit into what I'm going to say is it can only be tested by time. So time has to tell whether those cryptocurrencies will fit into this bracket. So what I'm trying to say, Bitcoin is the way it is. It has the respect it has because of the resilience. Look here, at least $611 million stolen in massive cross-chain attack. So there was this blockchain Poly network. Now, this Poly network is designed to be interoperable with different chains. So in this case, it was interoperable with the Binance Smart Chain, with Ethereum, with Polygon Matic. As this network was in operation, a smart person out there, a hacker, found a very sophisticated fault within this chain and managed to get in between there, somehow affect the way the chain communicates with itself. The communications, when it comes to blockchain, there's a header and then there's a macro tree within there. So this guy managed to fumble around with the way those headers communicate, the way they relay information. And I didn't dig deep into that. Obviously, I'm not a technical person, but he managed to find a loophole within there and managed to extract all the value, all the cross-chain value from the Binance Smart Chain, from Ethereum and from the Polygon network, and then send that value to their own personal Ethereum addresses like USD Tether, Ethereum. So what I'm saying, Bitcoin's security, Bitcoin's resilience is one of the main reasons as to why Bitcoin has network effect. It has survived since 2019, ever since the first Bitcoin were mined on the Genesis block up to today in 2021, it has survived for that long. So if anyone asks you why Bitcoin has value, tell them this is a distributed global network that supposedly is immutable, that supposedly is secure, that supposedly is permissionless and cannot be tampered with and cannot be stopped. So all the years Bitcoin has existed, it has really met its most basic functionalities, what it is set out to do. So that's why Bitcoin has value, and that's why it has the network effect it has. So another point before I cap up this video is that, guys, be careful when you're approaching blockchain technology, especially if you're approaching it with the intent to invest. Always do your own research. That cannot be understated. Do your own research. Look into the teams. Look into what kind of technology you're dealing with. Look at it, step back, look at it, really try to find out as much as you can. You may not find out so many technical details because so much is embedded within there, so much is hidden within the technical details, but at least try to join the communities, try to find out more about those particular chains, and then cross your fingers that your altcoin isn't going to be hacked. What this also tells us is that this is a very nascent space. We're still very early in the crypto space, and blockchains can be hacked if there is a flaw within what they're trying to innovate, especially if they're trying to innovate new things like interchain communication and interoperability. So guys, that's all I wanted to bring to you guys today. The news with what I think the market sentiment is, a couple of updates with Senator Shelby and his change of heart, but he still disagrees that the military should be incentivized more, should be given more money as regards the bill. And also we've talked about some adoption of Bitcoin, and lastly how you should be careful with when you're dealing with altcoins, because this is still the wild west in a way. All right guys, take care, have a good one, hope you learned something. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.